Let's go a little further. Verse 2 says, looking upon Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. And that's what he's telling us. Remember, he said, deny self, take up the cross, follow me. First, we got to realize that we got to deny the way that we think it should go. We can't, the way he does it, like we said, it's even said at the beginning of it, we're not going to understand a lot of things. We're not going to understand why some situations have come or why some situations happen. We're not. And it may be the end before we ever figure it out. It may be heaven before we ever even know why, what happened, the way it happened. Lord, why did it have to happen that way? I seen it could have happened another way. But he could have said, well, if I'd have done this, look what would have happened here. I know what I'm doing. Because he's looking at the big picture. He's looking through eternity and he's looking down the road. He knows the situations before us. And he knows what it takes to touch every heart, to touch every mind, how to move people, how to do things. He knows exactly what he's doing. But he's the author, the writer of it. He's the one that writes it and the finisher of it. He's the one that brings it all forward. And he knows that we have enough faith. And remember, we told you it's going to take faith to push through this next level. It's going to take faith for us to go forward into this next step. It's going to take faith for us to step out of the boat, Peter. And we've used him many times. When he first got in with God, he had to have something to be so worn out from fishing all night to take his boat back out, even though he was worn out. And then he had to have something that trust him enough to cast his nets back in the ocean, knowing, well, if I don't catch nothing, I'm going to have to clean these crazy nets again. And I'm already wore out. I've been up all night. And this man's preached for who knows how long now. And now I'm going to cast out my nets again just because he said to. But then he did, and thank God he did. Well, the same as with you and me. God is telling us, I've prepared everything. I've made ways for everything. I've done got people in place that you don't even know about. There's people out here that's done in place. Just like Jeremy, who we didn't even know before anything. Didn't even know this boy. Didn't even know anything about him. Been preparing him for years. There's others that God's been preparing for years that's in this area that we're not even aware of, that God has ready and prepared. He is the author. He has began it. He's got it started. He's got people in place. He's got people started down that road to bring us all together for this vision. But the enemy's trying to tell you through all these battles, through all these warfares, why is it worth it? What are you seeing accomplished? Is anything growing? Is anything happening? Is anything going to happen? My goodness. Look at it. It ain't going nowhere. What do you expect? Look at all these things. And look at all the attacks coming at you. Why is it worth it? And I believe the enemy is saying that to some people. And it's time that you quit listening to the enemy, because that definitely ain't God. God will never say that, no, absolutely not going to happen. That these things are not going to come true. Based upon everything that we've seen in the past, we know that what He's brought us through and what He's brought us to. He's the author. He's wrote it. He's put it in motion. He's put things in motion in other people's lives to bring us to a place that where grace and mercy is going to cross, and then it's going to be a divine thing that's going to happen if we become doers. We cannot just sit there on the boat riding it out and not cast the net. Jesus didn't throw the net over like we said. He told Peter to. But it's the same thing with you and me. He's going to tell us this is what you're supposed to do. That words, as we said the other day, is not going to cut it. We can say all day long, yep, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. But until you do it, it is no good. It is not going to get it. Just saying, yep, we'll do it. And you just don't know how many people you run into, and I know you've probably had them before. People would tell you they come to church. Well, did they come? Well, what good did it do them? Well, it's no different from us fulfilling what vision God has for this church. If we don't become a doer in the things that He wants us to become, we're not going to fulfill and become finishers of this race, become finishers of this vision, become finishers of the things that He has before us. Look at what you've battled through so far. Why ain't you getting mad at Satan? Why are you not getting mad at him enough to say, I've had enough, and I'm going to show you that this is true? After all you've been through, the years that you've battled him, don't you want to finish it on a victory run? Don't you want to finish what God has placed in? With all you've suffered and been through in your life and whatever situations you faced, don't you want to finish it with a victory? With victory with God, no matter what it may end up being? Don't you want to finish it on a great note with God, with all that you fought through? And some of you have been in this a while. Do you not want to finish it on a big, high victory run for God? That whenever you get done with this race here, when you get done, you know that you've won? Or do you want to come in saying, well, I hope he takes the top 6. I finished 6th. I didn't win. Just hope that you make it, because he's going to take the top 6 in. Like they do in a regional contest for state, the top 6 get to go on to state and get to go on and compete for the championship. Are you going to hope that the top 6 get in? Or are you going to finish it knowing that you got it? Knowing that you fulfilled what God had for you. Knowing that you had. And I know that somewhere along the road, you've been like me, that you know that there's been something special for your life. I know you have. And if you haven't, God's going to show you that they have been. Because we are called to this. And we are called to fulfill this. And that's why you're facing so many battles, so many things against you, and so much things trying to stop you. Everything trying to stop you from doing what God has for you to do. You think about it. Every avenue He's using, every person, every sickness, everything He can throw at you to try to knock you off, to make you stop and not go forward, to make you wore out, make situations in your day so stressful that you feel so wore out that you just don't feel like doing. Situations so hard in your mind, and situations you're thinking about so badly that you just don't feel like doing it. And that's the weight that I'm talking about that's upon people right now. Saying, well, what are we going to do about this situation? What are we going to do about that one? And that's that weight that's pulling you down that you can't race. Just as much as a runner, would he, a 100-yard sprinter, would he put a 10 bag of sand behind him trying to run it? You think he's got a chance against the other runners to win it? Well, you got your 10 pound of sand, and some of you probably got 100 pound of sand, and you're trying to get out of the starting gate, and you can't even get it started. And it's because of these weights, these situations that's before us, and we're going to have to let God take these weights off, or some of us are just going to have to get rid of them and say, God, it's yours, and quit trying to battle. As we said, we either got to fight with what we've been given or fight to leave it with God. One of the two. He has written it. He is going to finish it. He will not finish something that He didn't start, but it'll be up to us. He provides for His sheep everything that they need. It's the sheep's choice to not pick it up. It's the sheep's choice to not follow. It's the sheep's choice to not go. And that's something that He give us, was a free will to decide if we want to do it or not. But are they weights holding you back? Are they? Look in your life. And I believe you can say that they certainly are. Verse 3. For consider him that endured such contradictions of sinners against him, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Ye have not yet resisted the blood striving against sin. How many people have been against you? I can tell you there have been a lot against me and Lacey. I can tell you that beyond a shadow of a doubt. A lot. But how many he's been against? And he had plenty against him. He had all kinds of people against him, but he did not let it hinder him. He stayed on course, and just like he did not let the weights beset him. He did not let people trying to put doubt in him, saying, you're not the Messiah. You're not the one. You're nothing. You're nobody. And if he would have started to believe that,